There's this one big question that's probably keeping a ton of us up at night. With all this crazy fast AI development, people everywhere are wondering, will my job even be around in a few years? Okay, let's dive into this, because figuring that out is exactly what we're going to do today. This is the big one, isn't it? I mean, it's at the center of pretty much every career conversation right now. You see all these headlines about AI and automation, and it's totally natural to wonder where you're going to fit in. But just worrying about it, that's not a plan. We need to actually understand what's happening. So let's get into the numbers. According to the World Economic Forum, a whopping 23%, that's nearly a quarter of all jobs, are going to change in just the next 5 years. And we're not talking about some far-off, distant future. This is happening like right now. And if you zoom out to the whole world, the numbers get even crazier. McKinsey's research, they're talking about up to 375 million people, yeah, with an M, who might have to completely switch what they do for a living by 2030, all because of AI and automation. Okay, I get it. Those numbers are a lot. They sound pretty scary, right? But here's the thing. Falling into that doom and gloom thinking is a total trap. Because those stats, they're only telling half the story. Seed, the exact same reports that throw out those big scary numbers also say we're going to see 69 million new jobs pop up by 2030. So here's the big takeaway, the thing you really need to get. This isn't a story about jobs disappearing. It's a story about jobs changing. The real problem isn't a lack of jobs, it's a mismatch in skills. So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into this great job market shift. Then, we'll break down the 3 key skill pillars you're going to need. First, AI-augmented tech skills. Second, the human skills that AI just can't copy. And third, the business smarts that pull it all together. We'll also explore a huge new area of opportunity, the green frontier. And then we'll wrap it all up with what you can actually do to future-proof your career. All right, so let's get into it. The problem isn't that jobs are vanishing. Actually, companies are hiring like crazy. The real issue is that they can't find people who have the skills they need right now and for the jobs of tomorrow. It feels like a lot of us are holding on to old skills while the game has completely changed. And that gap, that's exactly where the opportunity is. So, pillar number 1, AI-augmented tech skills. And here's the big secret. Companies aren't looking for everyone to suddenly become an AI engineer. What they're really desperate for are people who know how to use AI as a tool to get way, way better at the job they already do. So what are we even talking about when we say AI augmented? It's not about building the AI from scratch. Nope. It's about learning how to use it like a pro. It's about grabbing tools like ChatGPT or Copilot and basically giving yourself superpowers, letting you do in an hour what used to take you a whole day. That's what companies are looking for, people who can deliver that 10x boost in productivity. And just look at how real this is. Let's take something like coding. The old way, yeah, you were sitting there grinding out every single line of code by hand. The new way, you've got an AI buddy like a GitHub Copilot helping you write code, find bugs. You're literally coding 10 times faster. Seriously, if you're a developer and you're not using these tools, you're already playing catch up. So here are the specific hard skills that companies are basically in a bidding war for. Of course, AI and machine learning are at the top of the list. They're the engine behind all this change. Python is still the king when it comes to AI and data. You've got to be fluent in cloud platforms like AWS and Google Cloud. I mean, that's just where everything is built these days. And with all this new tech, you better believe cybersecurity is a huge deal. And finally, CI/CD. That's all about automating how we build and ship software, making everything faster and smoother. But, and this is a big but, just having the tech skills isn't the whole picture. Not even close. I've seen some absolutely brilliant programmers get totally stuck in their careers because they were missing this next piece of the puzzle. We're talking about the truly human skills, the stuff that AI, as powerful as it is, just can't do. And if you can master these, you become priceless. All right, first up on the human skills list, critical thinking. Look, ChatGPT can spit out an answer to literally any question you ask it. But here's the secret sauce. The quality of that answer is 100% dependent on the quality of your question. It's on you to break down a messy, complex problem, think through the different angles, and figure out the right questions to ask in the first place. AI gives you the data, but you provide the wisdom and the context. And hey, don't just take it from me. The market is screaming for this. A Harvard Business Review report found that companies are paying a 30% premium for people who can prove they're great problem solvers. This isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have skill. It has a real dollar value attached to it. Okay, so how do you get better at this stuff? Well, you've got to practice. Try using a structured thinking model, like the 5 whys, to really dig deep into a problem. When you need to communicate, use a simple framework, like the PREP method. That's point, reason, example, point, to make your ideas super clear. And please, get out of your bubble. Volunteer for projects that involve different teams. And maybe the most important one, learn to actively listen. I mean, really listen to understand, not just to wait for your turn to talk. All right, let's move on to pillar number 3. And honestly, this one is so often overlooked. Business acumen. This is the skill that separates someone who's just good at their task from someone who's a real leader. It's about stopping and asking, why? Why are we building this? How does it actually help the business? So what does this actually look like? Well, it's a few things. First, product thinking. That means actually understanding what your users need, not just churning out features. Then there's financial literacy. You need to be able to talk about things like ROI. Having deep knowledge in a specific industry like fintech or health tech makes you so much more valuable. And finally, stakeholder management, which is really the art of getting everyone rowing in the same direction. And if you're still not convinced, just look at this stat from Gartner. They're projecting that by 2030, a crazy 80% of all tech jobs are going to require product management skills. That's the direction we're heading. The ability to connect your technical work to the business's bottom line, that's the skill that will literally double your value. So we've got our 3 pillars down: AI skills, human skills, and business savvy. But there's one more huge wave coming that's creating all sorts of new opportunities. This isn't just a small niche, it's a whole new world of skills that is blowing up across the economy. We're talking about the emerging green frontier. Yeah, you heard that right. The next massive skills revolution is green. The global shift towards a sustainable economy isn't just about the environment. It's one of the biggest economic shifts of our lifetime. And to make it happen, we need a whole army of people with a completely new set of skills. And just look at how widespread this is. We're not just talking about solar panels here. This is touching everything. Sustainable construction, green engineering, clean energy, making our transportation and logistics more efficient, and even brand new ways of doing things in agriculture and forestry. The demand for green skills is popping up in every single major part of the economy. Okay, so let's pull this all together. We've talked about the big shakeup in the job market, and we've laid out the roadmap for the skills you need. You've got to learn how to use AI as a powerful tool. You've got to lean into those human skills that can't be replaced. You need to understand the why behind the business, and you should definitely keep an eye on the booming green economy. So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this: skills are the new currency. Your job title, that's temporary. Your skills, those are your assets. In a world that's changing this fast, the only real job security you have comes from your own commitment to never stop learning. At the end of the day, the future of work isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you get to build. It's not about trying to guess the exact job title you'll have in 2030. It's all about the skills you're choosing to build right now, today. So I'll leave you with this question. What are you learning next?